box will win. Make sure you get your postcards in by Friday, September the 9th. And good luck. Now this has got to be the most amazing contraption ever. In my house, we call this the world because it's our way of keeping in touch with what's going on with the world via the television. Now this is owned by this young man, Dave Stewart. Welcome to The Beat.
Thanks very much.
Now what happens if I press this button?
Try it.
Oh my God! Absolutely amazing. I've got to tell you, I've got to throw my hands up in the air and say, this has got to be the most amazing pad I've ever been to, because that's what it is, a pad. Tell us about this place, because it's more than just an office. There's a bit of everything here, really, isn't there?
Well, you just gave me an idea, actually, because it is a pad, but it's more like a notepad, because this is where I record music, but I also take photographs through there and film things here, and it is like a kind of a journal. I'm so into the idea of doing things spontaneously, but that's quite difficult if you're in the middle of, like, I don't know, you know, some country house somewhere and you have an idea, whereas if you're right in the centre of Soho and you are with a bunch of people and you want to do something instantly because you've had an idea, you can. Everything here is totally, instantly recordable.
So was this place in the studio upstairs in particular, I mean, was that used in the making of this album?
Yeah, I wrote a lot of the songs here. It's hard to explain what happens here, but sometimes it's a photography thing. Sometimes I'm just looking at a film on the monitors, and for instance, there's a song called Kinky Sweetheart, which I ended up finishing with Laurie Anderson. And I started the song by all the musicians were looking at the monitor, and I was showing a film of Pasolini's on the monitor, and we were all playing to the film with the sound down as if we were doing a new score. And then I wrote the song on top of it, you know.
This is your first solo album. Why now?
I think it's took this long for me to feel comfortable about myself, you know. I think nearly every artist is insecure, but I was insecure to the point of pushing everybody in front first, you know. I would never, even in the Spiritual Cowboys, it was like all the people signed to my label mixed with other people and they could sing if they wanted to, and then I went to see somebody who told me, hey, you're okay. And so here I am. I think it was just a realization that I spent all my time sort of pushing other people, you know, and helping them record something. And in the end, there was like no time for me. And after a series of kind of sessions with somebody who I found really enlightening, they said, listen, I think you've got a lot to offer as you, and why don't you, spend a lot of time concentrating on yourself? So I did spend the last 7 months. So what used to happen to me, and I have to stop myself doing it, say I'm making a video, all of a sudden I'm like filming everybody else, and I'm going, oh, you look really great, let's film you, and then, I mean, I have somebody at my label who kept saying, no, Dave, you're meant to be in the video, you're the person that's meant to be, as well as this other person who was talking about my confidence emotionally and all this stuff. And so I've ended up realizing that and accepting the fact. As opposed to specific people, it's to do with records. I am a fan of like a record, rather than being a total David Bowie fanatic. There'll be this one album, or this will be an album by Lou Reed, or an album by Primal Scream, or an album by Morrissey, or an album by... And it's a mixture of all these things. And they were all jumbled around in my mind, and I knew that I had to make a very personal album. And I tend to sometimes write an overview, and I wanted to do it the other way around, so that's why it was called Greetings from the Gutter, because I wanted to write about my emotional wranglings that I've been going through in my life, in relationships, and just to do with my trying to deal with fitting in with the world,
2 weeks in electric ladyland, 2 weeks and that's all for me. I could be lucky and get up lightly with a broken nose and a 3rd degree. She said, I really dig disco music, and if you want to be my baby, we better talk about it.
Coming up next on The Beat, a Public Enemy style rappers, Fundamental, an Anglo-Asian outfit dedicated to the fight against racism.